Okay, we'll get started. So my name is Anthony Wilson. Some of you know me already, but it's okay. They've said I've got to speak for 40 minutes. You've got to write down your questions.
What about pillows? A bit more.
So I'm going to run it like that. We're going to have a general discussion. There is some things that I'm going to run through quickly. A lot of what I'm going to discuss that I've actually personally done. So this is not a, this is not a theory, this is actually what I've done, okay?
Practical.
It's very practical and it's kind of some life things and whatever. To give you background on myself, I was just saying, so I've been a chief executive for almost 20 years now, 18, 20 years. Last year, in March, I decided that I would resign.
Oh.
After 5 years of running the same organisation, I'd restructured it, had to let go half of the staff, re-employ, when I was up there. Yeah. So I had to do all that, and it's after 5 years I just got sick of it, and so in March I told the board, I'm out. July I'm gone, and actually August, I gave it to August, and so by July they got another chief executive, and ACU was a credit union based in South Auckland, since been taken over, and so we had about over 50 staff, 60 staff spread across the country, and so I resigned, and I said to my wife, in July, I'm going to set up an office in Newmarket, and I'm going to buy a business. She says, okay. I'd already done businesses before, and I said, just give me 12 months. And the bank balance was just going, shut up, she said, are you sure you're going to work every day? And I said, yeah. And I looked at over 100 different businesses, and so you'll see some of the cool ones.
What did you settle on?
I'm going to tell you about it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm going to share with you some of the experiences that I've had. I am an expert at looking at businesses.
Nice.
I've done it for 30 years. I can tell you about retail stuff. My background as an analyst, I spent 7 years at university and four years doing postgraduate degrees. So not that makes you any smarter or any richer. Actually, to be honest, it doesn't. I suppose so. I've always worked. So I suppose the answer is yeah. But as you get more senior, I'm talking about a career path here. Whatever qualifications you got are irrelevant. They are. That's really what you've done.
So can you analyse any business in any sector? Foods,
Pretty much.
Because all same concepts principles,
Pretty much, yeah, I can tell you in general terms. So I'll share with you what I ended up with, and after a year's sort of searching.
Yeah.
So and without a word of a lie, I set a goal for 12 months, and on the 12th month, we signed a contract.
So you bought a business?
I bought a bunch.
I was going to say, because it's November now, so I'm going, this over 12 months.
Yeah. So I'm here for 2 or 3 months. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to share with you some thoughts. These are my own personal thoughts of how it works, and I'm going to keep an eye on the time because I really want to spend some time having some discussion. All right. So this is the question about technical skills versus personal qualities or skills. You can call it whatever you want. And so you asked about education, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people will focus on the technical side of it, and certain cultures really do. I've got a lot of Chinese friends, and they're all about doing MBA, this, that, paying the drink.
Life experience,
But for me, I'm telling you that the personal qualities are the most important thing. And I think, so these are things that these are the things I'm trying to do. Right? So I think it begins with courage. I think we're all a little bit insecure, right? I am. I get quite nervous. I've been a state president for 7 years and I don't like public speaking. So there you go.
Too bad.
Yeah, and Alan knows this. But I don't. I honestly don't. I find it really difficult. It's hard. And so sometimes you just need to, and you know, I came from a background, my background is quite poor. So to be able to say I knew where I wanted to go, it takes a lot of courage, you know. Wherever you want to go, it takes courage. And I love this. I've read a book which is by Gus Lee years ago. It's called Courage, the Backbone to Leadership by Gus Lee. You can look it up. It's a great book. And he talks about, there are a lot of, have you ever heard this manager, he's a real nice guy. And this person's a real nice guy. But they're useless. You know why they're useless? Because they have a manager who might be bullying someone and they don't do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? It's terrible. They don't. It's like here, there's an island over there which is the courageous island, but they won't cross the stream of fear. And Gus Lee talks about this. They don't have the courage to do it. They end up being good managers, nice managers, but they're not great leaders. Yeah. To be honest. And here's some things. You can have it. I'll email it to you. You give me your, I'll give you, come see afterwards. Let's just keep moving along. So here's some quotes. I love this quote. Cowardice is the great opposite. Instead of building, it ruins. Fear begins in our guts and spreads into families and organisations. Living in fear is not living. It is tantamount to being imprisoned to our own weaknesses. We all have weaknesses, right? Sometimes we're lazy. I am lazy. I have to push myself. I'm not a great one for detail, but I always have good people. All my managers have always been detail oriented. But there are some things which I am good at, and I understand that. So, you got to look at yourself. But courage is the most, we all have insecurities, but courage to be able to go out and bang, do something that is different. Now, if you read the first chapter of Joshua, wow, that is one of the most encouraging chapters, where the Lord says to Joshua, here is a guy, he was the first guy, remember the 12 people? Moses says, hey, we're at the promised land, I'm going to send 12 people, and all of them, apart from Joshua, they said, oh no, it's terrible, it's too dangerous, and blah, 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 blah. And Joshua's the only one who said, we can do it, it's beautiful.
We can take these Samoans there.
We can take it. And Joshua's, he's a bit of a man's man. He was. And but in that first chapter of Joshua, there's that beautiful encouragement from the Lord to say, I think it's about verse 5, where he says, you know what, Joshua? Have courage. Be courageous. He says it about 4 or 5 times. Wow, it is one of the most powerful statements. Anyway, vision and clarity. Hey, look, this is. I don't make this up. I do have my bag here. Somewhere. Over here. Okay. So this is mine, right? These are my goals. These goals don't change from year to year. They pretty much stay. I want to be spiritually strong, inner leadership, and I want to develop a legacy of significance, right? Can you make that bigger? Sorry, I can't. Because I'll give it to you. Yeah. But
Can you move it forward?
can I move it forward?
Please.
Go ahead.
This way.
Yeah.
Is it cord long enough?
No, it's not.
No. You have to come forward. Please come forward.
Yeah, come forward.
Come forward.
Yeah, sorry. I did ask them for an extension cord.
Come forward.
So, anyway, this is even worse. I have this my goals, blah, blah, blah. So I got this at the front of I've written things in here, the thoughts and feelings and stuff. And these 4 goals are basically my goals. And they don't change from year to year, you know, they stay pretty much the same. But the how I get there changes. You know, this year, how I'm going to get there is I'm going to read the Book of Mormon. Next year, I'm going to read the New Testament, something like that. That's really just the how. The why I do it is, you know, like spiritual strength. Spirituality, this is a statement I've written. Spirituality is the fire that moves me forward. Sorry. The inner strength to face challenges and provides personal fulfillment, you know? So those are the things that sort of, you know, that's why I do it. So anyway. So I think you've got to have, in your own mind, it's got to be clear as to what you want to do. It goes without saying that you need to be resilient. In business, everyone's going to say to you, it's not going to work. And I always think of the stories of Abraham, you know. Wow, 100 years old, still faithful. And the Lord the year before says, hey, I'm going to make you, you're going to have, your descendants are going to be like the sand of the sea. He still hadn't had a covenant son. He says, oh, maybe. You know, that's perseverance, resilience. It's an inner toughness.
Grit.
It's a grit. When things are difficult, you go for it, you know? I love this book I've been given by the previous owner of this. Most of you will know Doug Myers, or the name anyway. I've got a beautiful book which was done of his travels when he retired, when he went around the world, and he bought a super yacht called Census, and him as his wife went around the world, and he hired a photographer to take photos, and the book was compiled and then given as a gift. There were only a couple of hundred of them made to those that had been on the super yacht, and I have one of them. And in this book, he travels up the Amazon to see where Sir Peter Blake died. In this, there's this quote. The last log entry in 2003 before he died. So when you have to believe you can do it, you have to be passionate about it, you have to really want the result, even if it means years of work. The hardest part of any big project is to begin, to start. And, you know, unless you've done it, you won't really understand. You need to believe in it. If you don't believe in it, it ain't going to happen. And I've been through all of those parameters of people saying, no, it won't work, having done lots of big projects, multi-million-dollar projects, you get banks and they say, no. You can't do that. And so you've got to actually say, nah, I'm going to do it. The other thing I think, which is really important, which couples with it, is humility. You've got the virtue of listening. Sometimes people don't listen. We all have children, and they don't listen. And I think you've got to accept that you don't know everything. And having been a chief executive for a long time, I realised that you've got to listen very carefully, particularly when you make a new acquisition, you buy a new business. You listen very carefully to the nuances that happen within that business. Why do people do certain things? Sometimes they're small, but it's really, really important. Be curious in reading. Being curious in reading. I have this thing. It's really important to read. Read uplifting books, read spiritual books, read the scriptures, do all those sorts of things. It helps create vision, takes you to places that you haven't been before. It gives you insight into difficulties and challenges that you may not have had. It's really, really important, you know. These are personal qualities that you need. Lastly, the temple values, which are in the temple questions, that's a great litmus test to doing the right thing, you know. I think it stands as a sort of a totem pole for all of us. So, you know. So those are some of the personal qualities that I think, but I do believe that that more than anything else, you must have an absolute belief and passion for what you want to do. So if you don't have that, forget it. Try something else. Go and work for someone. Don't do this. Okay. So look, here's some of my investment strategy. This is, I've used this. I've used it over many years. The basic things. You need to have a friend or friends. And they need to be in a place where you want to be. So it can be anything. It could be, you know, so I've got some friends that are extremely wealthy. I have one friend, he's worth 40 plus million. His son-in-law, his company, and over $10 million a year. There's his son-in-law, he's a Māori guy. He's just bought a business, his business makes $9 million, he's just bought another business which makes 12, they've merged them together, they make over $20 million. All I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be that. I'm talking from a business perspective. If you want to be in a certain place in terms of business, go and talk to someone who is in that place. There's no use talking to some uncle down the road who thinks he knows everything, or some other people or family members, because they don't know, and they just do not know. You need to understand the business. I've got another friend of mine, we're in the same office building. He spent 4 years building up a business. He's very successful, sold it for $18 million. He now lives in St. Mary's Bay. And he bought a couple of businesses, 3 businesses. I said to him, so how's it going? And he says, well, I still don't know where the money's coming from. I was there, what? And that can be the problem in the digital space, you know. If you're in that digital space, a lot of them, when they say, I don't know how to monetize it, that's exactly what they're saying. They're not sure where the money's going to come from. For me personally, I don't like that kind of business. I want to understand how it works. Something comes in, we change it around, it goes out, and I sell it to this group of people. That's simple. That's my philosophy. That's how it works. Is it fundable? Friends, fools, and family. 3 Fs. Who you go and see to borrow money or whatever. You know, can you actually get the money together to be able to do it? That's an important criteria. Can you manage it? You know, can you manage the business? I looked at over 100, and you got to be able to understand, you know, how you can manage it. I think self-reflection is really important. You've got to be able to understand. I know in some circumstances, finances I'm really good at. I can just look at a balance sheet. I'll give you an example. I looked at a business, market through price. Okay? They wanted $3.5 million for it. I said, okay. do that. So I signed the thing, sent it to the broker sent it to the financials, signed off by Pete Marwick, which is a large accounting firm, one of the biggest in New Zealand, in the world. Went through it, 2 hours. This is rubbish, mate. Loses $300,000 a year. No thanks. And last month it went into receivership. And when I read the information, so I looked at the financial information first and knew that, hey, this is losing money. And then I looked at the actual background information. Fundamentally, the kids didn't love the business. The parents started the business in Makatu. And if you remember in the 80s and 90s, and you can have a look online, I did. I looked at it because I was interested in the brand and all of that. And there were a lot of cooking shows, and people were saying, oh, this is a chicken pie, and blah, 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 blah. And they loved it. Someone had a passion for it. They actually, there was a belief in it. The parents had built it up. You could actually read it, but the kids didn't. The parents had died, and all you could see was the overhead going up. No one actually, I looked at it, I spoke to a friend of mine, I said, oh, do I want to go to Makatu and make 20 people, 50% of the staff at McDonald's to make it work? No, that's someone else's mess to clean up. So I just left it, no thanks. But,
So that would have cost you quite a lot of money in the process, wouldn't it?
no, not looking at that. It cost me $100,000, I suppose, over the last 12 months to look at other businesses. That was just one of the 100 that I looked at. Because I can do a lot of the due diligence myself. Yeah. But when I made a play on 4 different businesses that I got pretty serious on, and it cost me, and my wife, I should have Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it is, by the time you get lawyers involved, you get these serious accounting firms to, I need to check this out. And I'm presenting, because I've got to borrow some money, millions of dollars, and it costs money, and that's how much it costs. Okay, so I want to see if this works. I want to show you what I bought, and yeah. So let's see. So this is TVNZ doing a news report on 2 helicopters which were brought down into the South Island. My company bought these in July. Bought them from Germany, transported them from the Airbus, and within 3 weeks we had them here in Christchurch, assembled and ready to go. And so this is a company that I bought, but this is a news report on these 2 rescue helicopters. We bought in all the police helicopters that you see. Yeah. So hopefully this works.
Pursuing the newest lifesavers in the South Island.
The sooner we can get patients with a serious condition,
You can't see it? Oh.
and the technology we have now available from this machine, certainly capable.
Costing $15 million each, this station
Oh.
What's that? What's going on here?
Do you know how this
For a pocket change.
introducing
is it working now?
No.
South
It's just from a laptop.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let's try. So, so I don't know why it's not. It was working before. It's the problem when you go from the PowerPoint.
There's a course going in, not
No. It's all connected. It's just I don't know. There's some.
Introducing the newest lifesavers in the South Island.
Sorry.
Costing $15 million each, this state-of-the-art van and paramedics will be better able to provide vital patient care.
This one is the big brother of all the
across the entire South Island. Changes have included dedicated cover in Queenstown and a larger chop for Greymouth. The Christchurch service alone attends around 700 call-outs per year, covering terrain from ocean to Alps.
We are able to potentially rescue more persons if there was a party on a mountain that needed to be winch rescued. Where previously weight limits may have meant that you could only put so many out on one trip.
Operating 24/7, these helicopters will be the primary aircraft in Dunedin and Christchurch. And new technology will enable missions to be flown safely in conditions previously deemed too dangerous.
Through performance, through autopilot systems, and also through a larger cabin, we can carry more gear, we can carry more fuel, so we can do more with the aircraft.
They'll be in service from tomorrow. Jordan Knockett, One News.
Yeah, so that's my company bought them in. Yep.
So your company bought them in, and
Yeah, so we
how
do.
did you make your money back?
Well, we made a lot of money
But how?
Yeah.
I'm asking how.
because we organised the freight for it. So,
Back to Central.
so
Oh, so you're
we're a freight forwarder.
a freight forwarding company.
Yeah. So I'll just explain it in a minute.
Yeah. 'Cause it's
So,
confusing.
So yeah, we thought you'd buy a helicopter, but you actually got a freight forwarding company.
yeah. So no, we don't. $15 million. So. Look at this. What's happened
We
here?
don't have to go to a bank reviews. I can see it. You can see it, yes, sir.
What's? Oh, okay. Maybe it's. Yeah, maybe that's why it's blank. Second screen. There we go.
Hey!
Yay!
You are?
There we go. Sorry, I had it on pause.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. So yeah, what we do is
Going backwards.
No, it's going forward.
go forward. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
So what my company does, we move helicopters. We specialise in moving them all around the world.
Wow.
We're the top company in the world. There's only two companies that contract to the Milestone Group, which is owned by GE, General Electric, based domiciled out of Dublin. And we have a service provider contract with them, and one another large corporate, which is called Panalpina. So we do a lot of the majority of their work. So yeah, we're the best in the world at doing.
So what made you want to get into that specifically, or did you just see the prospect?
Go
of
back to
making
the
money?
other slide that I said.
Yeah.
I understood it.
You understand?
It made money, and all those other points.
Okay.
So that's why I bought it. I could fund it, and
It's up for sale, is it? It's up for sale.
it was up for sale. Yeah.
Who
I-
was it overseas?
No. The Kiwi guy had set it up. I couldn't figure out why he.
When they
Sold
sell
it?
I found out later.
Okay.
So how much do you make in a year, just if you want to tell us?
It turns over $6 million a year. Makes
Nice.
a lot of money. Which I'm not going to tell you.
What's the name of the company?
It's called the Redford Group,
Oh,
and so you can have a look at it online. This is one of the Joe Farrow. This guy, he's based in the Hawke's Bay. He bought this off an estate out of Savannah, Georgia.
The helicopter.
This helicopter. It was put on he flew it, you know when they had the hurricanes? Do you remember the hurricanes? Yeah. So he flew it into a warehouse. He was supposed to fly it onto the wharf, but because they closed the port, then the next day they flew it onto the wharf. One of my employees was there, broke down the helicopter, put it on the ship. This is at the ports of Auckland after we had put the rotors and everything back on it. And that's what we do. Yeah. For a New Zealand company, you need to have a niche, you know. It's not the only thing we do. we bring Red Bull into the country. I know you sinners don't drink, but we. So this is Joe just flying it off. So we do it in a certain way so he can just fly it off the court.
Nice.
And it's kind of unique how we do it because it is unique because it means there's no downtime. Most of you won't know, but you know the helicopters, the big helicopters that do firefighting, we bring those into Australia as well. We've done all the police helicopters in New Zealand, most of the rescue helicopters. We did all of the Air Force helicopters when they were, Helen Clark got rid of them, we moved them out. So this is my company. Red Fort Logistics Specialist, yeah. So you can have a look at it online. So that's the Westpac Rescue Helicopter. This isn't a, what do you call it, a thing photo. This is actually one of the ones that we brought in. So that's the one in the South Island. This is a Black Hawk in Long Beach. And those are my guys there just packing it down and getting it ready to go. So we move probably around 1 to 2 helicopters a week, literally all over the world. To give you an idea, we did a job for the Dubai royal family. That helicopter was broken down in one of their warehouses, which had jumbos in it, Gulfstream jets, and a fleet of helicopters. And we broke that helicopter down, put it into a truck, onto the port of Dubai, went from Dubai to Namibia, and then put on a truck to the Angola border. Wow. And now it's fighting poachers between Angola and Namibia. Yeah.
So you have an army too. You put an army.
We're actually moving a helicopter out of Bolivia, which is a bit dodgy because, you know, drug running and everything like that stuff. Yeah. But we move them all over the world, literally all over the world. So both sides of the US, Europe, we're moving. We're pricing a job from Paris to Guam. We just moved 2 big Sikorsky S-92s, which are about from here to that wall.
Whoa, that's a big
massive helicopters worth $20 million US. We moved 2 of them last week. I was in Brisbane, from the port of Brisbane through to Perth. Now you might say, well, why didn't they just fly them? They can only fly 2 hours, and they're burning 400 litres an hour. Those ones are. The big firefighting ones burn 2,000 litres. Yeah, so it's a unique business. I liked it from the very beginning. I understood it. I understood where the cash flow was coming from. It had existing management, so I didn't have to know that much about it. It fitted perfectly within the criteria that I had, you know. And the reason why he wanted to sell was because he had relationship issues. There's always a backstory, and I found out later that his wife had got sick of him traveling all the time, and he said, "No more, you gotta sell his business or else." So
he made the wise choice.
he never wanted to sell the business, but he had to. And I had to compete with 10 people that were interested, 4 that bid, 2 that were serious. And because I'd been through the process 3 or 4 times, I had all my funding in place. So I bought it. I gave him a little bit more than was than what he was asking. But my view is that you know, for every million that I gave him, he earns 1.5%, $15,000 a year, you know, in interest, and I'm earning a lot more than that.
Nice, Chris.
So I think now is a good time to perhaps have a discussion. You know, I gave him several millions of dollars, and But you know, when I went through, we went through it, I actually knew more about the financial side of the business than he did. I knew when the fluctuations happen, I knew the cash flow, I knew the fact that 93% of all his debtors were paid within 30 days or less. That's amazing.
Well, because of the clientele you've got too.
That's right.
Yeah.
So as part of the business, we also I'm going up to Utah next week, and we ship out of a place in Logan. I'm going up to see a family-owned company called Gosling Foods, and they produce UHT milk, and we're moving 2 to 4 containers of milk a week from Utah down to Long Beach, California, and then through Guam. So we contract to a company which is one of the largest in the world. It's called Sodexo, and they do 25,000 meals a day in Guam to the school kids, and we supply the food for it and milk and make sure that it gets there and gets there on time. So who would have thought? But so you know, the thing about it is that everyone said, "Oh, that's a really cool business," but I said, "Mate, you haven't been with me. You haven't been on my journey for the last 12 months. You don't know what it's like." You know, I looked at 4 businesses really seriously. One, the owner told me to get lost. One said, "You're from Auckland, I'm not going to sell it to you." I said to him, "Oh, I can pay for it." No. He's a South Islander, so what can you say? I spoke to another guy. They said to me, "How are you going to manage this business? You know, you don't know anything about it." It was in the food industry. They supplied all of the meals to all the airlines. Beautiful contract, great business. And he says, "Oh, well, I'm going to manage it like this." And do you know what they took my ideas and says, "No, we don't want to sell it anymore."
So it's easier, I guess.
Are you kidding me? Anyway, so in some respects, it's kind of, you know, that it's kind of lucky, but it's not. I mean, I looked at my daughter said, "Oh, lucky you didn't buy marketing," but I says, "I've been doing this. I'm an expert at this. I've been doing it for 30 years. I can tell you, I can look at a balance sheet, I can give it a sniff on it."
Yeah.
I looked at one business and I knew that the way that the cash flows were working, the creditors were being stretched out and ballooning out. They're having problems paying their bills. I thought, "Oh, do you want to buy this? Because I just bought this other one." No, forget it. I don't even want to go. Okay, question time.
Yeah, so how long, like, you've got a good turnover,
Yeah.
so how long does it take you to pay?
The loan off.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that probably 3 to 4 years. I've got a 10-year facility with the bank, and it's in the millions of dollars.
Wow.
You gonna sleep all right at night doing that? You gotta. So yeah, not everyone's going to be able to do that. They just can't. I handle stress pretty well. I stay present for 7 years. So you know, and I've got pretty hefty bank covenants and things like that. But you start off. If it starts off well, and I can tell you now, it's been amazing. It's been.
Exceed expectations in food.
It has. You prepare financial forecasts, and you believe that it's actually done better than that.
Well,
It's incredible. Yeah.
that's
It's way ahead of numbers when we're so busy. And part of the problem is the previous owner he lived in Dunedin, and he worked in the business 2 to 3 days a month, and that included walking to the toilet.
wow. So how was he missing from home then?
Yeah.
No, because his wife had made him move down to Dunedin, and then so they'd been down there for 2 years, but she'd just had enough. So. One of the managers had been, to give you an idea of how much travel we spend. Our budget is $50,000 a month, and last year one of my managers was out of the country 132 days.
Well,
I said,
it's a
that's
third-
ridiculous.
It's a third of the.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So it's not sustainable. So we're restructuring all of that so it works for families,
Families, yeah.
stuff like that. So because we have to be there, you know, the ones we moved to Brisbane, it's not until you're there that you actually understand why one of my people needs to be there.
Yeah.
They're expensive assets. When you're dealing with a truck driver, with all due respect, they don't know. They don't know. And you break a little tail light about that big, that's $25,000. US, we don't talk, most of I get paid in US dollars. So, but the point of this is that a lot of it takes hard work. People think, oh, yeah, it's easy, you know. But they don't know. They don't know. Yeah.
How long have you been doing the helicopter business?
Only 3 months.
What?
3 months. So I bought it off. It was an existing business for 3 months. Yeah, I've only owned it for 3 months. I don't know anything about freight. When I go and talk to the guys, I say, I don't know, but my manager here does.
Yeah, well, that's as well.
So you just got the right systems in place.
Yeah, I got the right system. I bought a business that was manageable, that I understood. It gets back to what I was saying. You've got to understand how you're going to manage it.
You need the money too.
That's the other thing which I said. You've got to have it. It's got to be fundable. That's what I mean by being fundable. You need to have enough equity to buy it, and then enough, and that's built up over a long period of time. You know, my wife and I risk it. Yeah, you do. Yeah, it gets back to what I was saying before, wasn't it? Yeah.
So you've been buying?
I bought businesses. Yeah, I've looked at businesses for over 30 years. I've worked for investment and property companies for 30 years. That's my whole background.
Over how many years?
30 years.
So in that experience there has been up and down,
Yeah.
failures and successes.
Oh yeah.
You don't live
Nights when you can't sleep, you're thinking about how am I going to keep 50 people employed? Yeah.
I have a question. So, okay, so you obviously you didn't have any understanding of the actual industry.
No.
So what's the first thing you did, maybe the first week you did, because obviously these guys go, okay, who's the new owner? So what's the fun things you did to get everyone on side?
So the first thing I did was, because I've been through restructuring before,
Okay, yeah.
so first fundamental thing, sign up the employment contracts
Yeah.
and sit down with them individually
Yeah.
and you know, give them a level of respect.
Yes.
And then my style is I'm not into. There's some guys that just a-holes. Really.
Yeah.
And they just like to, you know, that's not my style. I'm kind of a more easygoing manager. All my organisations that I've run are very calm. There's no yelling. No, I keep it calm.
Yeah.
And even when I have to fire people, I keep it calm. I respect people because, you know, a lot of times you're talking about their lives and their families. Not only what you see, what sits in behind. And so I get in and work with everybody else right from day one. And I always start with, yeah, I do that. But I always start with the people who collect the money. You can get other things wrong, but make sure, please, we get the money in. So always the administration and the accounting department, when you do an acquisition, you never fire those people. Never fire them. You're fired. Don't try. No, you don't, because it doesn't matter, because they collect the money, they're really important. And so that's where you start. You know, make sure you get the money in first.
Okay.
Because that pays the salaries, it keeps the, you know, and then you just slowly, methodically work through it. You work through, so you start to, you know, talk to everyone about, well, what's the plan? Where the sales side going to come? So once you've got the money coming in, that's okay. Then the next thing is the top line, which is the sales side. And, okay, another confession. I'm not a sales guy. Okay, so you can go and talk to Lawrence, and Lawrence will say, I've heard him say it, it's about sales, or whatever. Okay. I'm a finance guy, and we all have different ways of doing things. And so I'm not necessarily, I mean, yeah, sure, I can sell things, but I'm not a real good sales guy. I can sit down and work up a deal with another party, I can do that, but not really. I leave it to my staff who are good at it, but I'm good at the financial side. And so that's my strength, and that's part of what I'm saying around self-reflection. You have to be honest. And what you're good at and what you're not good at. If you're not good at it, find people that are good at it, and it makes a big difference. So,
nice. Okay.
Yeah, any other questions for probably 5 minutes? Any other questions? It is hard. Yeah.
Time management. When do you usually call work? Do you have like a time? Or do you care after 5 o'clock?
So my wife will tell you.
Yeah, like time management and like your stress management.
I have to admit, I handle stress really, really well. When we went through the GFC and we had, dealing with receivers in Australia, things were collapsing. I went to my doctor and said, I might have high blood pressure. Nah, you're normal. So I learned from that as a strength. I took that as a strength because I handle stress really well. So in terms of time management, I'm not the best at time management, but I do work long hours. My wife will attest to that. So I tend to, I'm the boss, right? I get there about 10, but I won't leave until 7 often. But then just in time for my meeting, I bring a spare tyre and my car. And sometimes I put it on the way. Are you going to be there for the? Yeah, I'm on my way. But yeah, look, it is true. I'm lazy. If I could sleep underneath a tree, I would. But I don't feel good about it, right? I am lazy, and I admit it, but I know that I like to have a sense of purpose, get going, and I have to push myself. Everyone's got their own, it's about being honest with yourself, and I know that if I sit around for too long, I got to get off my posterior and do something, So, but it does, you really need to have that belief. I'm telling you, you've got to have it. I've had to deal with the bank boys, you got the relationship guy, the relationship manager, and he's real positive, we'll do a deal, But what you don't know is what I do, because I've met them before, is what sits in behind him is the credit guy. And, he's like a funeral director. He doesn't smile, he's
looking for the
everything, in his world, it's always random. So, we got to finish, I think. Hey, but look, thanks for coming. I'll write up my email address. Why don't you do that?
Send us the
Why don't you email me, and then I can send it to you. So this is it.
Have you got time to do that?
What's that?
He just gets the second.
You send it to me, I'll send it to you, okay? At redfordgroup.com, and check us out online. And if you've got a friend who's got a helicopter needs moving, To Europe would be good. But yeah, so hey, thank you everyone. And yeah, I'm really pleased I was able to do it because Sunday I'm away to Canada and we were planning the trip and because we have clients up there, I'm going to go to Utah
So
for 2
you've
weeks.
been in business for 30 years?
30 years I've been running companies, yeah.
And so at what point in the 30 years did you really start making big money?
I explained it like this, right?
Yes.
To my kids and my staff.
Okay.
When you graduate from university, you are like this, right? It's like a junior. And the firefighter and the ambulance guy and blah, 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 he's like this. And then you get to 30, and he's like that. And then you go, and never the twain meets ever, ever, ever again. So what I'm saying is your earning capacity post 30 from having a degree in the career choices that you make will never be the same as the guys when you graduate.